Hello there. I have really been enjoying painting some beachy, simple kind of landscapes lately. So I thought I would record a video and show you how I do it in case you also want to do it. I am just using my art journal here, my Strathmore visual journal. You could use any watercolor paper. And I'm primarily going to be using my my brush, my flat brush. I think it's like a 3/4 inch flat brush. I find that this works best for what I'm doing. And over in my watercolor palette, I'm going to be using 4 primary colors, which are, I don't mean primary like red, yellow, blue. I mean primary like main colors: green, brown, blue. And I have lots of greens. I'm probably mostly going to be using my emerald and spring green. And then I have raw sienna that I really like to use. I may add some yellow to my greens to give them a little bit of a different feel. And then whatever blue, I use my midnight blue and ultramarine blue a lot. But basically, here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm grabbing some paint some brown paint on my flat brush, taking a deep breath, exhaling. I always just like to set a peaceful mood. And then I'm mostly just going to be doing a little back and forth, a little up and down, and just keeping this so light. I'm going to do a little more over here. This is going to be very abstract. It might not even look like a beach scene to you. I guess it does to me because I have the beach on the brain. I want to go to the beach for spring break. Now I'm grabbing some green. I'm going to leave a lot of white space so that in some places these things sort of merge together and mix as watercolors do, but in other places there's just that white space. I just added some yellow, and I don't need this to be anything. So since I'm using watercolor paper, it does sort of bow up in the middle and it gives a bit of a pooling effect in certain places. Now I'm going to grab a darkish blue, do a couple of touches of dark blue, just either moving up and down or side to side, not trying to make this look like any particular shape or geographical, landmark. I'm not like, oh, these are bushes and this is a weed. Like this is just kind of a rough landscape. And now that I've done my first layer, I will go back in and just dot a few more here and there's. And if I want to later, I'll add a second layer, but I'm just going to leave that like that for now. And then I'm going to wash off my brush, and the 2 colors that I like to use for the sky right now that I'm really into are petal pink and Naples yellow. So I'm just gonna sweep a petal pink sky in one direction, like so, and grab my Naples yellow and let it mix a little bit. Not mix a little. I'm going to try to mostly keep the sky from touching the land, but it would be fine if it touched a little and bled a little. That's pretty dry, so it won't do too much. All right, now I'm going to let that, no, I want there to be more pink, and then I'll let it dry. And this is bowing up. Buckling is not the right word in this case, kind of bowing up more than I would like it to, but that happens in an art journal. If you're just using a watercolor block, or if you have taped down your paper, that will not be happening. So let this dry, and then we can talk about potentially adding, although I may do a little right now. So it's called I don't know how to pronounce it. H-A-K-E, hockey is how I first heard it pronounced. I probably should wait until it's a little drier, but these brushes are good for making little teeny, almost, it looks like brush to me, little lines, little grasses. Does work better dry, but if you just kind of pull it up, I'll do more when it's dry. If you don't have one of these, don't worry about it. You can also use a skinny little brush and make lines going up. Okay, so let's let this dry and then we'll come back and finish it off, but I already think it looks like a cool abstract landscape. How about you? So things are mostly dry on my end. Again, unfortunately, just because it's an art journal situation and things are pooling a little bit, there are some wet areas that I'm just gonna tap dry. And now I'm going to add a little bit of a second layer, just because that got all wet there. It's a little strange looking, so I think I'll tap in. Basically, you're just adding layers of the same kind of colors, and you're not gonna go crazy here. You're just gonna maybe add a few not contrasting colors, but like the same colors, just like popped a bit. What I like about abstract painting is you don't have to ever say, this is this thing. Can't you see it? Look at this horse. It's not like that. It's just like, here is the essence of maybe a marsh or some scrub by a beach. Now again, I'm gonna take my dry hockey brush and just kind of make it like there's some bushes, some tall grasses. I'm doing that to the wet areas, just kind of pulling them up. Very nice, gives it some layers. And the sky. I'm pretty happy with the sky, but perhaps I'll add a little more yeller that bled in from the whatever's on the back of this. But that won't be happening to you unless you're doing the same thing. And maybe I'll put a little more color down here. I don't mind the white. I don't mind a little bit of a gap in colors. I like leaving some white spaces sometimes. There we go. I think that, other than the drying time, took approximately 7 minutes maybe. You could, when it's completely dry again, if you really wanted to, you could take a little thin, like a size 2 brush or a rigger brush, or even hold your flat brush sideways like this. If you wanted to add in some contrasting, like a dark blue, like a grass sort of shape here or down here, just for more contrast, you could. If you wanted to add like a rising sun. A lot of times with these paintings, I add words sort of flowing across the page, so I don't know that I need any more visual interest. This is just a pretty straightforward, basic composition with no real focal point. But I'm okay with that. But as I said, easily when this dries, you could draw like a bright or bold strokes of some sort of grass or foliage or something here in the front to grab attention. Put a dark pink sun or something up here, whatever you want. I hope you've enjoyed this.